Hey everyone, it is Jay Soloff from Investors Alley, and this is our options trade of the week. And once again, to clear up any confusion, this is not a trade recommendation for any of my services. This is a trade that is meant for educational purposes only. I give you some analysis and some methods for trading, but it is simply an educational trade only. If you're looking for recommendations, there will be a link on this page to subscribe to my base service, Options for Trader Pro. Anyways, getting back to the trade, marketchameleon.com is the place to go for options analytics, and I like to go to the unusual options page to see what's going on in a given day, and then I sort by volume to see where some of the action is. And today happened to be a big down day in the market, a lot of action in QQQ and the inverse of QQQ. But something that's been in the news plenty is ARK Innovation. It's Cathie Wood's ETF. There's actually 5 of them, although ARK Innovation is the biggest one. Tends to be the one that most people talk about. Heavily invested in a lot of the popular stocks these days: Square, Tesla, Roku. Anyways, it did brisk almost 270,000 options. A lot on the put side, which tends to be bearish, and about 7 times the regular amount of volume. So a lot of action there. Figured we'd go take a look and see maybe what's going on more specifically. So here's the ARK trading page, and once again I like to sort by quantity to see what some of the block trades are. And this one here right away is interesting, because first of all, it's January 2022. So in the world of options in popular, meme stocks and things like that, usually a lot of the trades are a week long, a couple weeks long, maybe a month long. But this is a long trade and a big position. Even it's 3,000 in quantity, but it's actually $5.2 million worth of options of notional value. So quite a big trade in terms of the actual value. And it looks to me like we're selling calls here, and it's stock contingent, which means it's tied to stock. So this is most likely a covered call. So with the stock at 121.75, someone sold the January 140 calls for $17.50. So this is somewhat risky given how much ARK has dropped lately, but also it was a lot higher not that long ago, so you're also capping your potential upside. However, you're getting this huge amount of premium, $17.50 for this call, plus you're giving yourself another $18, $19 of potential upside. So just an interesting, albeit expensive method of doing a sort of a high yielding covered call. So here's what I'm talking about. Here's ARK, and you can see it's come quite down. It hasn't necessarily dropped off a cliff. It's been somewhat orderly, but it has come down relatively sharply over a relatively short period of time. And so someone's selling the call here. So clearly, it was up to almost 160. So maybe they're not expecting it to go much higher than 140, or maybe they don't care. They're happy to make their $18, $19 on the way up, plus the $17.50 they made from selling the options. That is quite a bit in terms of option premium to collect. So you can see it's 323 days till expiration, so quite a while there, obviously, until expiration. You can see a lot of action here. There may have been more of these covered calls done. The price already is down from 17.50 to 14.15 range as the stock continued to fall, so they're already making money on that call, on the call they sold. So interesting trade. Typically doing a covered call would just involve selling the stock, buying the stock and selling the call, or sometimes your broker will let you do it, or most brokers should let you do it all at once. In this case, covered stock, where you're doing one option sold for every 100 shares. So interesting, and typically it shows up as a net debit, so the price of the stock minus whatever the price of the call is. So the total cost would be $103 or 103 per for 100 shares would be the minimum you could do this, 100 shares in one call. So it'd be about $10,000 that you would need to put on this trade, which is why I said it was not expensive necessarily from a relative standpoint, but from a capital intensive standpoint. Anyways, interesting trade. We don't do I have a service that does covered calls, weekly income accelerator, but just to get started with options and learning buying calls or buying puts, there's a link on this page for Option Flow Trader Pro, which is a good way to get started. If you're looking for covered calls, weekly income accelerator is our service for that. Anyways, we'll be back next week with more, and keep up the good trading.